need to have
Send him to the wall.
Yeah, exactly. Take the plaque.
Harkus
all
is as
claim.
well. He can certainly say something as well if he wants to.
Uh,
You also notice that this warhammer,
Yeah.
if it hurts him, counts as being vicious, which is an effect that always kills.
Yeah.
No, Nadia will.
You could always maim him.
It would be nice to save Harkus's life somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how would you want me to do that with the knowledge Nadia has on the king?
Wait. Harkus will say quiet.
I don't think you should say
Hang
anything,
on,
to be honest.
hang on.
Okay, sure.
He'll say quietly, just enough for these two to hear, not for the crowd, and just say, "This was bad theatre. If I truly upset you, my lord, I beg mercy. And if you deem worthy, I would go to the wall." Yeah, he takes out the handkerchief, like this scarf, and rips it.
Manaki, you're muted.
Seems like Nadia is the person who has an influence here. Haga's words upwind.
Alright.
Okay.
The Queen, by the way, seems very amused.
Of course.
Well, we're pleasing Lannisters, that's good.
Well, yeah, you know, while we were with the Baratheons, just my grace, I would think that he didn't mean any harm by this. He is, after all,
He's lowborn and doesn't know.
lowborn and doesn't know better of why this was done to him.
And if the king is exceptionally generous and in his fantastic graces, we will take him and discipline him accordingly for such poor taste. Very well disciplined.
King
Yes.
turns his head to Nadia, raises the faceplate slightly, and she's as close to him as he's probably ever going to get to.
Yeah.
He is his angry face, the dark sort of beard and thick eyebrows, frowning deeply. He looks down to him. A sentence worthy of a dragon.
He's gonna.
Gonna get burnt alive or something.
Questioningly. Seeing what she says.
Oh. I would appreciate if none of you say anything right now. I need to think. Nadia looks a little scared. Takes her helmet off. I said don't say any. She takes her helmet off and looks the king in the eye. A misunderstanding like this, I don't see death as a proper way to deal with this. I advise you show mercy.
Death is too quick after all.
Maybe death's too quick for punishment.
He'll look at Harkus, and Harkus will just see the hammer falling, and then feel like incredible pain as he's knocked out.
Yeah.
The rest of you will see a smashed knee as he falls to the ground. Robert turns down his visor again, so looks over the crowd and says, "And so you're reminded of what happens to the dragons when they live. This one," sort of kicks away the helmet, "is no dragon. You mean to calm down a slight bit. You'll go to the wall, where he will serve for his life." Next to Nadia, so it says, "You showed him a king's mercy." Then he will sort of crush the helmet under his plated boot and take a leave.
Crush what? Oh, Harkus.
The hell?
Oh, the helmet.
Yeah.
Kick it off. As he claps.
She's the one who devised this.
Some nobles as well clap.
This could have gone a lot worse.
No, I don't think she was.
Off.
This could have gone a lot worse.
Christ.
You can add a flaw to agility.
Hmm?
A flaw to agility.
Your knee.
Your
Sure.
knee.
Yeah, sure.
I know a good cane maker.
Well, we can't bring him with us. He's going to the wall.
Going to the wall.
Oh, he can join us. Don't worry about that.
No, he can't.
Going to the wall.
course he
I'd
can.
get
If
free
he
sword.
doesn't go to the wall,
Yeah.
then the Stark is gonna cut his head off.
Well, how's Ned Stark gonna get down
Why,
to
why would Ned
the
Stark do it?
the west?
Well,
of it?
he's the warden of the north.
You carry him off the.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but
if he never ever shows up north.
yeah.
Yeah, we're
Well,
gonna carry Harkus off.
Nadia's not gonna do it.
Sure.
That would be weird. She's gonna stand there scared for a sec.
A lot of people seem scared. Shocked.
She will call out. Are there some people around?
I mean, yeah, there's some just helper boys will come over.
Or she'll call him over and ask him to help Harkus and
Sure.
get him to a Meister. Well, he has to go to the wall. If you don't go to the wall, it's death.
Yep.
If they find him, yes.
We're not gonna defy King Robert.
The rest of you, I assume, go to the back to the tavern for maybe a bit of a drink. Yes,
That's my chair.
yeah. Certainly don't get any less views. Although, seemingly Nadia has got off the hook.
Yeah.
So,
Because drama.
Because drama. Yeah.
we also know that there's going to be a feast tonight, celebrating the ending of the tournament.
You know, funny enough, I don't think I'm gonna show up.
Oh, we're gonna show up.
Gotta show up.
You know what? I don't think that's a good idea.
If you don't, I think it would look awful.
It's the grand ball.
Plain awful.
You know, we're a minor family. No one would notice.
They will notice now.
They certainly
Yeah,
will. I
they
mean,
will notice.
we kind of spit in the king's face.
No, we didn't. He did.
As you say, Orton sort of comes up. He's very pale and sort of looks at you. Like, kind of.
Nadia have a glove and hand on her face. You know, she seems very tired.
He looks and sort of. He sort of breathes very quickly and says, "All right, I need you to listen to me.
What's going on?
He says, do you have the armor that you just showed up with?
Yes.
The
well,
Targaryen or mine?
The other one, the black one.
I assume it's been. I don't know. Did we
It-
take
it-
it?
I-
We
Right.
Other
don't.
than the
You
helmet.
can probably get it though.
Yeah, we can probably get it.
Why? What about it?
I have a sneaking suspicion. I'd like to look at it if I can. And he sort of looks at you and says, if it's not too much to ask for, he sort of looks to Nadia. Aiden, Lord, perhaps you would accompany me for some time.
She looks to her uncle.
Her uncle's like very. He gives a shake of the head, very, sneakily. Basically, it's almost imperceptible. But no, do not go with this guy. Remember he's potentially in league with the same person who has poisoned like 2 people.
Possibly.
I'm getting more and more suspicious of this guy.
Nadia looks at him. Why would I do that?
It's I don't feel safe, to be honest. So lowers his voice a little bit. Can we talk about this somewhere else? Perhaps upstairs.
I'm gonna bring my uncle and my squire.
That's
No,
very
we're
well.
gonna sit here. We're gonna sit here and talk. So people can actually see us talking. We're not gonna go anywhere.
You say you don't want to be overheard is the problem.
Then we talk quietly.
My sister's betrothed passed away.
Woods.
Sorry for your loss.
I didn't know him. My sister barely knew him. But I have a bad feeling. It seems many of these things that are happening are related. So now I'm...
Yes, and related to your house, I am noticing.
In Oslo, yes. Is that the first time stuff like this happens? Usually it's only members of our own, like cousins or my younger brother.
Yes.
I don't know why this would happen, but it seems that... Well, it seems, and I do believe you're being framed.
Yeah.
You don't say.
What gave you the clue?
Says, well, at first I was a bit apprehensive. My brother seems to be sure that you have terrible people, and worthless as well. I will not repeat what he said. However, in truth, you seem to have been, well, his opponents in many a test. Besides, our lands are close, and it is known that he has inquired about your sister's hand before, in a maybe less subtle way, but if the house was to lose its heirs, then she would inherit.
This is a great situation for me.
Beyond that, the Dennets don't really have an heir any longer, which would make House Logus, if married to your sister, which I would advise against, which would make House Logus the most powerful house in the vicinity.
Yeah, so you expect a power play then from your house, trying to knock off...
Not my house as such. My father would likely know nothing of this. He has simply tried to stabilize the house since, well, his own 3 brothers died fighting for it.
So they're expected to try to kill me and marry my sister?
Not, I believe they thought that difficult. You had a rather strong guardian with you almost all time. Now he's eliminated, it seems. I wanted to see the armor, to perhaps see if it's one of my... well, if I could trace it.
Why are you doing this for us?
Well, you helped me. And much as I value my family, it is what we have after all. He has not been kind to me. In addition, I fear for my own life. Hence why I would like to accompany you. Or you accompany me, however it may be.
We can certainly be in the same company from now until the grand ball tonight, but we will not be alone at any point. We will always move in public areas.
That's probably a good idea. I do think my brother... he doesn't seem smart enough, but... I think I have another idea.
I would suggest you go to your room, Lucas, gather the things you might need, and after that we will go and take a look at the armor, all of us.
Yes, good idea. He's rattled.
Anomander looks to the rest of you as he walks off and says, "I don't trust him." He said he freely admits that his brother is not smart enough for this, and I agree, but he is.
But if they kill me, Aiden is at least safe. And that would show who did it. So
They're not gonna kill you. I think we are being set up as to take the fall for this whole affair. What he says, though, is reasonable. I think the Dennett house doesn't have any heir they know of. They have the daughter who has run away. If she can be brought forward and somehow made to inherit the house, whoever she marries would indeed gain all the power of House Dennett. He frowns slightly. I am not sure exactly, but maybe Lugus has a lot of male people to marry someone like that. If she marries into House Lugus, they will gain enough. They will have a lot of power, and now this Woods, who was betrothed to their only daughter, is dead, so she can marry someone who is also powerful. Maybe it is aimed for Aiden to marry her, bringing all of our houses under House Lugus.
Which then would be one of the largest of the minor houses there.
Yes, and would make us subservient to them, and would make Trevelyan subservient to them. He sort of taps his cane. This is very dire news indeed. The brute brother surely does not have the brains for such a scheme. But Orton has. They might actually be working together. All of this might be a charade to try to set us up. They have a way with poisons. They have a way with trickery and Harkus, the poor fool, fell right into that trap. Luckily, you were quick enough to extricate House Trevelyan from their matters, but he frowns slightly as he sees the shadow of Orton coming around the corner.
He sits down. He has a satchel with him.
Mm-hmm.
He sits down again, looking at all of you.
Yes, I guess we should go and take a look at that armor.
He nods. As I said, perhaps better if we speak and talk and walk.
Sure. We'll do that. On our way out, we will also retrieve the sword with the stag on it.
Right.
And some of the other things we have. Some of the evidence things we have brought along so far.
Like a back full of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Arwin will carry it.
So we'll certainly do basically go out the streets. He's landing.
Well, you know who's lying on the street.
So I will.
He's over here.
Oh, Harkus! I'm
Just
so
thrown
sorry.
there. Yeah.
So sorry, Harkus. So yeah, it's a bit awkward. I'm running out of time for this session, guys.
Mm. What? Why am I moving my toe?
How much of the clock have you got left?
20 minutes.
I don't want to be
you
that
think, Manaki?
guy.
You want to keep going for those 20 minutes then?
Sure. I mean, I don't know what's left to go.
The narrator has,
I'd say you should keep going for 20 minutes.
Okay,
Alright,
well,
sure.
20 minutes.
Or at
we
least
go and,
slight delay.
we go together to take a look at.
On the way, Autumn will say that he has seen his brother meet with the Bravosi, who stayed at the Green Tree earlier this week,
Mm-hmm.
and he seemed like the mysterious sort.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps he could have helped him plot all this, although he doesn't know a name.
If Anomander tries to recall, has he seen Bravosi in talk with any of the brothers?
Can you all check them?
I can. Let me check. Okay, yes.
Come on, the power of eidentic memory.
Yes, most certainly did.
Did he talk with both of them?
He was at their table when you saw him.
Right. So
They're mostly just drinking.
right. So Orden, yeah, the Bravosi has been in contact with both of them. So that surely doesn't clear Orden here from suspicion. Well, he won't say anything. He'll just remember it.
Sure. Well, you'll go to the place where Harkus is. Harkus is awake now.
Yeah.
In pain. He has been given milk of the poppy, so he's a bit blurry, but he certainly is awake
Drugged.
and still in pain.
Sure.
The armor is sort of on a table to the side.
Right.
As everyone comes in and just turns to the table,
Yep. Starts inspecting
leaving
the
him
armor.
laying there like, oh.
Harkus will get a backhanded wave.
Harkus just looks sad.
Everyone looks sad.
Sad.
None of
Also
us look
looks
particularly happy.
Oh, Harkus.
Harkus just frowns.
Just
Very sad.
shakes his head at him. I am sorry.
That's Orton. Orton looks
Let's look at the armor.
for it. Do you know what Smith made it? Where it was bought or given to you?
Harkus tells him what blacksmith it was.
Have to have been someone with quite a lot of gold to make something like this happen.
Harkus points
Or
to
someone who could make a few people disappear.
Harkus points to the scarf.
Goes to look at it. Yes, I don't know it.
Do any of us know?
No.
No.
He puts it down. It seems like a glaring fault in whoever this plan was. This scarf, this proves it, doesn't it? Because if this is not a real house, then that proves that there's some deception in it, or that he was deceived at least.
Perhaps.
The king looked more angry when he saw it.
So it's a scarf.
It does resemble somewhat a wolf, I suppose.
Isn't he friends with the Starks?
It's not the Starks. You bloody idiot.
But
You
if
would
the-
recognize the Starks.
yeah, but
The
if
Stark
it's the
would
North,
recognize.
what I'm saying is if it's the North, then he's not going to be angered about a Northern faction.
Do we know if the king has any particular regard for a northern faction that a symbol such as this would make him angry?
We probably knew he was going to marry a Stark.
Right. That's kind of what I'm fishing for here.
Wasn't. Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of a nobility story. You probably know it.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of noble blood, at least. Which everyone but Marcus, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, okay, so the woman he's about to marry, who gets murdered by the Targaryens, brings the scarf to Harkus and makes him wear it to get the king even more pissed. Yeah, it's certainly a make it possible of a
Very
deception.
risky move.
Yes.
Just looking at.
They most likely counted on Harkus to be killed. And
I
then-
just follow orders.
We will take this scarf with us, I think. Yoink.
And the evidence bag.
Yep. And you protect that bag with your life, young wolf. Young
Well,
fox.
in that case, Amanda, you're going into melee.
That's right. You're going into melee. You have to hold on to that bag with like Deathman's grip all the time.
Run!
A death man's grip and my dodge. Whee!
That's right.
Harkus can, will be able to move and such. Soon enough.
Sure.
20 days.
You know, if we are incredibly lucky, we might be able to clear your name of all of this and get the sentence revoked. But I don't know.
Probably not.
Well, have it reduced to maimed.
We can try.
Yeah.
I would suggest he looks at Harkus, well, wait an hour or two until he can move somewhat, and then maybe can lead us to the place where he found this.
Oh, he's not locked in.
I'm not locked in. I'm allowed to leave.
I thought
You
it was
can leave
gonna
whenever
be-
you want. If
Like-
it's your own damn problem.
Oh,
You do.
what?
You're supposed
Wait,
to go
I'm
yourself.
confused.
No?
Am I allowed to leave, or is it a
Yeah.
bad thing to leave?
You can go here, but you will be sent to the wall soon.
Oh,
Basically, when the next guy comes for it, generally, you will be put in prison, but that hasn't been seen to yet.
oh, sure. That's
The
So he's just
gold
under,
cloaks
like,
might
house
come take
arrest?
you at some point, but like it's like an hour or so ago,
oh, sure.
and
Alright,
nobody really took you afterwards. So.
sure. Let's go. Sure. Harkus will just get up. He seems a bit weak on one knee, but
You
You
doesn't
know.
want
Oh,
to borrow
wounded.
a cane.
yeah, he's just like
Still a better
ah.
fighter than most, damn it.
Would you like a cane?
Harkus shakes his hand, just and says, "No, just a slower pace."
Slowly begin making your way to the smithy.
As we make for the smithy, as Anomander will lag behind a little bit with Harkus to get out of earshot of Orton, and then as they sort of around the corner
Probably
or
staying
something.
close to Aiden,
Yeah,
feeling safest.
sure.
Then I suppose I'll be in the front with.
Yeah.
So you,
He will just be back here. Again the cripples walking together a little bit, and he will, in very hushed whispers, just tell the basic suspicions that he has to Harkus. Basically, don't trust Orton because there's something this is probably what's going on.
Harkus nods and says, "I think the only three people I trust anymore is you three." Then.
And again, he will also whisper to Harkus to say that he is sorry for this, and if Harkus decides that after all of this he wants to disappear rather than go to the wall, he can help out.
Harkus kind of looks down and doesn't really answer. Kind of says, "To be honest, I'm not entirely sure."
It is a decision up to you, my friend. If we cannot clear you of these suspicions, know that at least you have a choice.
Harkus nods.
I have been traveling quite a bit in my days, and I still have contacts that might help you.
All kind of went to hell, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
As you go to the smithy, you basically find that there's not really a whole lot in there. It seems to have been abandoned somewhat. There's still a lot of smithing tools and the like.
So it was a front.
It seems to be a smithy, but there's no one here.
Christ.
All right, hook one of the neighbors. Like, who was here? Where did they go?
Oh yeah, there was some people came and talked to the smith, and he doesn't seem to be home right now. Maybe he'll be home soon.
Describe the people.
One was sort of small and had a very weird haircut, sort of a braid gathered on the top of his head. Another one was just sort of looked like kind of a brute, scarred man, big, strong muscles.
Will the style of haircut suggest anything to any of the party? Of the nationality of...
Also nods slowly.
Yeah.
Looks to him and says, "I think you know who I recognize it as."
Yes. The Bravosi, I assume?
Nods. Sure would sound like it. I thought... He said he was going back home.
And the smith just walked away.
The woman doesn't seem to know where the smith went to. But now the smith and the people are gone. They looked like unsavory types.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can try to track them, I suppose, but they might have just run away.
Shakes his head and says, if you need me to testify at this point, Miles, I don't think... I wouldn't be in a room with my brother right now, so I don't think his leverage... I really just would want to live.
Nods. Of course.
I know my brother's looking for me. Then I came to you.
Yes. As I said, we should be rather public. No going into dark alleys or anything like that. And we will arrive early at the Grand Feast, I think, and see if we can settle this whole thing behind us somewhat. After this, we can go our separate ways, hopefully.
Well, perhaps then we should move now. It's in an hour or so.
All right. And I suppose we do, but
Right.
I don't think we can track down a wayward blacksmith in an hour. I mean, we could try, but...
No.
No.
Unless you think you're that good at gathering information, you can do like epic levels of.
So, go to the feast. Where, I mean, this was still a minor incident compared to so many others.
What?
This was minor?
Minor?
Not quite, but as many people seem to have sort of settled with, the criminal got a sentence, and I mean, there are not really any feuds or anything like that. So
They enjoyed the show.
this feast, though, the Ortons are placed further from you.
Sure.
And there's a ball as well. So
What's Harkus doing here? Get out.
there's much more of a time to mingle.
Mm-hmm. Sure, we can mingle.
Harkus, you have a status of 2 now. Get out.
Yeah, that's right.
I've taken
Don't
up
want
the
to bring
black.
him?
I've taken up the black.
I don't think it's a good idea to bring him.
Probably
No,
not,
it's
no.
kinda...
Get back in your hospital bed.
Oh.
We'll leave you with the
Back
maesters,
in the
maybe.
hospital.
Yeah.
You need
You
to
can
rest.
talk to Sejoras.
Oh, he's here.
Yes, you're in the bed across from him.
Yeah, I can talk to Sejoras. Hey, buddy.
You can tell him what just happened.
Roan.
I fought the king. So.
The food here is really good as well, amazingly enough. Although, being a bit on edge, I don't know how much you eat.
Not much. At
The
this point.
locuses are as loud as always, although the woman who's with them probably didn't see her as a woman before, but now she's wearing a veil, sort of a black veil. So,
Oh, she's the Black Widow.
yeah, she's mourning.
Oh, yes, of course.
And Alden is forced to sit over there, which seems to make him uncomfortable. And he certainly has a lot of talking to from from the entourage.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's too far away to really hear during the feast.
Sure, I will. Anomander will kill, not kill, but he wishes he could. At this point, Freudian slip. He will kill anyone. He will keep a. He will keep his. He will look around. His keen eyes, sort of scanning everything and everyone, trying to catch exactly who goes to and fro the different tables. See what he can see here, because he kind of wants to.
The merchant is no longer with the Dennets.
The merchant?
Yeah. Reuben Piper.
Oh, he's not here. Is Ferris here? The maester.
Yes. There aren't really a whole lot of Dennets left.
No?
So he's really just sitting there with a lot of empty chairs,
Oh.
bench places, with a few sort of household guards.
Mm-hmm.
Who is kind of, bad. But again, they're obliged to be here. It's a king's feast. You don't really just say no to the king.
No.
Apparently you do dress up as a tiger.
The queen seems very happy though.
That might be our.
Our saving grace is the queen happy.
Yeah.
The food is certainly quite.
So
quick, but, no one really sort of what?
Who leads the delegation now? Is it Maester Ferris?
Yeah. And some guard person you don't really know.
Maester
It
Ferris
looks
and
like
guard.
three some sons of someone of the guard perhaps
Mhm.
also there.
That is a small party.
Very small.
As small as ours,
they're not
basically.
They're not really fitting here.
Oh,
Maybe we only have 3 people now. It's like, oh.
They lost their trial by combat, and their liege has died, and it's been quite terrible for them. And the dining really goes without too many people sort of doing anything there. And then when the ball begins, the king is just sort of. This is usually the part where he just gets drunk with some people you don't know.
Sure.
A woman stands up, one of the furthest benches down, and you notice her walk over to the Logos. She's wearing a red veil, as well as a red dress, and Orton sort of talks to his brothers and cousins and whatnot. They all look around. She, well. Yeah. Sort of, yeah, the ball begins. Orton stands up and follows her to the side.
all right.
And
Can I-
the others sort of break up a little bit.
I kind of want to know what they're doing.
Here's the money for what I did.
Basically, that's what's going on here.
What's that woman who's been eyeing Harkus for quite some time now? Both Aiden and Harkus.
Oh, this is the woman?
I don't know if that is the one.
She's veiled, so it's very hard to see who she is.
Well,
But she has a bit of blonde hair.
Well, you know,
The woman you think was like brown haired?
Anomander can, make, as the ball is sort of a thing, he can accidentally make his way closer and closer. Try to get a good look at
Do a
her.
blend in check.
Maybe listen in. Sure, it's stealth, right?
Yeah.
Not super good at it, but you know.
I will stay with Aiden.
All right. Well, it seems like they accidentally walk away from you all the time.
Yeah.
Led by her mostly.
Does he at least get a decent look at her?
She's kind of tall, blonde hair, frail sort of build. Her dress seems very new. They dance during the ball.
Mm-hmm. Do they
Aiden
continue
is
to
asked to
talk?
dance by a lady. Aiden is asked to dance by one of the ladies.
Does she recognize her?
It appears to be one of the unmarried ladies. Probably even from a house in the city.
Is it the one that eyed and Harkus?
Yeah, seems so. She's very courteous, curtsies. Asks if the Lord perhaps would. She knows that it's unconventional for her to ask. He's so bold, but perhaps he would, honor her with a dance.
Damn, where's my uncle?
I'm
Okay,
not bailing out of this.
sure.
Sure. Well, she'll take out and dance rather graciously.
Well, Nadia knows how to lead.
She's very nice and talks nicely of the events and say that she was shocked but very surprised certainly and that it
Arwin has
quite
the
a show.
entire ready.
But mostly she talks about sort of asking about where Aiden lives and sort of what his home is like, and she'll tell about her own home. Like
He'll
one of the gates.
give very short answers and not say much. The whole situation has what she would think really shaken him.
Arwin is left much to his own devices.
Which is just fine. Arwen's just going to
Please
just look around and keep an eye on everything.
keep an eye on me.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on both of you.
The old man can handle himself.
Just where are people moving? I'm keeping an eye just on the surroundings. There's not a lot else to do.
The dance goes until Orton and the lady get close to sort of the scene where there's a lot of, there's a lot of musicians. Where she promptly sort of lets go of Orton's hand and moves back a little bit as she jumps upon the scene. The musician sort of stepping back a little bit confused, as she removes the veil, and at least one voice calls out, "Iris!"
Oh, it's the one I did it.
See the Maester, Mr. Ferris, sort of stand up and look at her. My lords and ladies, pray forgive this interruption, but honors cannot be awarded this night when grave injustice remains unaddressed. For I believe our King Robert holds justice for his people as a greater concern than mere trophies. She doesn't really give much of a chance for anyone to say anything else. She says, I am Iris Dennett. My brother was Adam Dennett, he who now travels home to lie forever beside our ancestors. My brother was struck down in the prime of his life before it had truly begun, by duplicity and deception, not by fair and honest combat, but by poison and murder. People sort of mumble. She looks towards Amanda, who's closest, and then on to the rest of you. My brother leveled certain charges against House Trevelyan, attacking our lands and slaughtering our people. He sought to prove the truth of the charges with his own body, and fearing the truth he had to say, they poisoned him, bringing about his defeat on the jousting field and his death. I say now, Your Majesty, that my brother was murdered by House Trevelyan, and I have come here tonight to demand justice for him.
This is getting really old.
Begin to talk, and a few people shout, sort of, down with the peasant killers. Person, get down from the stage. Sort of different screams, calls.
Poison is a lady's weapon, isn't it?
Stands up and sort of begins to shout, but all the other shouts kind of drowning out until the King's Guard and a few gold cloaks who run in begin to sort of file and push people down to the nearest seat. Standing along the King looks at her. He seems tired as a sassy queen is to whisper something in his ear.
She really is the snake in the pit.
Robert sort of looks and says, Lady Dennett, then. I believe you had recently left your house. Where have you been? Are you with this person? Are you here tonight?
It's a horrible echo again.
Yeah, Tina, can you try to mute? Because we're having like a horrible echo when Manaki...
She very quickly sort of blushes a whole of blood and looks away. Your Majesty, my father took the effort to arrange a marriage for me to Mr. Piper. I did not wish to marry, and so I fled my father's household, making my way here to King's Landing. And you have been here all this time? The king asked. I have worked at the Jade Springs, Your Majesty. People sort of begin mumbling again and chuckling. If anyone wants to make a memory test.
Sure.
That was the brothel.
It is the brothel, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. You were certain to remember this is the brothel. People. And man, yeah, you're just feigning ignorance as his wife looks at him and he's...
I never heard of that.
Oh, I don't know where that place
Rest
is.
of the night.
Where is that place?
And so the king sort of hushes everyone. The king's guard rattling their scabbards a little bit. And these grave accusations you level against House Trevelyan. On what basis do you make a claim of poison and murder? And she looks and says, on the evidence provided to me by my family's maester. Maester Ferris, for one. He attended my brother after the fall into tourney, and Maester Ferris did not believe the pains Adam suffered were the result of his injuries. My maester has consulted other maesters in the city, but could not learn of a specific poison that could have caused these symptoms. And sort of look at the maester, and he nods.
Are we allowed to speak?
And then she says, however, it is known that Anomander Trevelyan has been buying poison from many maesters in the city. He's been seeking them out to purchase medicine, as he would say. And it seems that he had the most to gain. The king looks towards you.
Oh, it's looking at Anomander.
Anomander, gets up on his cane,
Yeah, you get up.
walks forward, and he bows and says, Your Majesty, Lady Dennett, these accusations we have already heard once before. A few days ago, if memory serves, which it usually does, similar accusations was leveled against House Trevelyan, and now we hear the same song again. We already proved our innocence on the battlefield, I do believe. Nevertheless, he sort of pulls himself up a little bit. It is certainly true that I have made a lot of purchases in town. I could gladly show the maester in question, Maester Ferris. He sort of nods towards him. I could certainly tell of the different items I purchased, and he could perhaps compare it to whatever symptoms the young Sir Lord Dennett suffered. He sighs. You also recall, I do believe, Maester Ferris, that you and I talked. And I do remember. You do remember, I think, what we talked about. It is my firm belief that these accusations are wholly a charade, Your Majesty, to pit our two houses against each other. Our lands are close, and us fighting would be certainly a very good thing for our enemies, other powerful neighbors, perhaps. The accusation of slaying peasants, as I said, was a ploy by someone called the Fox Knight, a well-known mercenary and scoundrel, crazy as he was. He was the one behind the affair, trying to set up House Trevelyan as the culprits in all of this. He sighs, shakes his head. The poisoning of Lord Dennett, which I do believe also took place, was not of our make, of course. As you would also recall, Maester Ferris, House Trevelyan has had no contact with your lord for the entirety of the journey from our lands to King's Landing. We never caught up to each other on the high road. Is that not so? I believe, in fact, even you travelled ahead of us on said road, spreading ill rumors about us. As you can also attest then, my good maester, you will know that none of us have ever come close to being able to poison your lord. At the feast, a few days ago, your lord already showed the symptoms of it. He was withdrawn and had cold sweats. pale as he was. Simply, there is no place, no opportunity where House Trevelyan could have poisoned him. This is not our doing. More likely, someone else. Yeah, like we have the backpack of evidence. The question then, of course, becomes who would gain most from such a poisoning? It is quite peculiar. He sort of looks around. As I said, the neighbors of our house seems to be the most likely. Trevelyan and Dennett fighting would put our forces much diminished, and open up the scene for someone else who perhaps knows a lot about poisonings and even has reputations for such things. He sort of shoots a glance, you know. The House Dennett has had no known heirs up to this very moment, Lady Dennett.
Orton stands up. Orton stands up.
Oh.
Looks at you and says, "If I may interject, Your Majesty," he bows. "Hearing these disturbing charges, I find that I must speak. My sister's betrothed, Langley Woods, perished in the melee after a regrettable accident. Langley was somewhat delicate. I must say that his last hours he suffered from the same symptoms described by my dear betrothed." He looks up to Lady Dennett.
Aha! He is the one, motherfucker!
It is clear that he as well suffered from this poisoning. His sister Nadia begins to cry loudly as Norton sort of takes her in his arms and looks angrily towards Orton. "However, my lord, my lady," "I would ask that this be moved to a private hearing, where we can speak openly." And Queen whispers something in King's ear. He nods. "Very well then. Private room."
All right.
Tomorrow this will be dealt with. We'll have until then to gather your evidence. For now, the feasting will continue.
I have the evidence.
Well, you better protect them.
She said.
Mm-hmm.
Queen, looking at all the parties, enjoying the drama.
Of course you would.
Hmm.
And to speed things up a little bit, let's skip ahead then, because I know Jonas had to go. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of late already, but yes.
So let's say, how about you make a little list here of the evidence you want to present.
Sure. Well, we have the.
You can add it you can add it written here.
Well, we have the.
Be right.
We have the sword. Mm-hmm. Stag sword. Stag sword. We have the armor and the handkerchief. Like that was part of the whole thing to get. If that's how you spell it. That tripped up Harkus. We have the witness, the testimony of Maester Ferris about the way these people were poisoned. Both Woods and Lord Dennett was poisoned. It seems pretty clear now what's happening. I do believe that indeed House Lugus, and I think Orton is the mastermind. He is setting himself up to maybe become the heir or something, although his brother still lives. but he might be doing it for the house.
That might be the last. That might be the last step. Remove the brother.
Yeah, exactly. But he is now betrothed to Iris Dennett, the only heir to all of the Dennett lands. That is certainly something he profits of. So blaming us and taking all of the Dennett lands is, that's definitely in his interests. He is in his family. It is known for poisonings. I mean, we have the Black Widow. It's been 3 husbands now that have died off in mysterious circumstances, and her last husband died with the same poison as killed Dennett, the same person who's now being betrothed to Lugus. It seems quite obvious that he is the one poisoning these people. To put himself in a position of power.
So Joris is also an eyewitness with the Fox Knight.
Yes, Joris is an eyewitness. We're going to bring him in to stand witness. He is hopefully well known and respected and can speak for us. We will tell of the all other witnesses has died on the way. That's the matter of it. But I think that is the basic case we're going to make. Tell of the disappeared blacksmith who was all set up preying on Harkus's naivete and his lack of knowledge, basically, to set him up.
So, you're basically facing Orton at the moment. When you move to a private room, he will stand behind you and believe that you are innocent in this.
Oh, he will?
His betrothed stands against you as the main sort of...
He stands against
attacker. Yes, although he will still speak very kindly to her, but say that he believes she is wrong. And that he believes that finding the real agitator is probably the most important thing here. He will also, during this day, tell you that his brother introduced her to him at this ball, and that they had been betrothed, and that he had been told to basically stop being such a little rebel and bug up, because this is not seemly for one of the Lugus house to act like this.
And is Norton gonna be in this as well? His big brutal brother, because he's kind of implicating him.
He certainly will, and he will say that this is that you are scoundrels, and that his brother is a fool who would attempt to do him like this. He will stand with her, actually.
Okay. Well, then if we're gonna present our case, basically telling the story of the peasants being killed close to our lands. We are looking into it, finding at the Fox Knight a crazed and deranged remnant from the War of the Usurper, is basically doing all of this, and that he does it on behest of someone else who clearly is also in the line of forging enough letters to make others attack us on the road.
Oh yeah, we also have the forged letter.
Yeah, we will present the forged letter and say it is clearly forged. Like anyone can see it. The poor, we have been beset all our way to King's Landing, trying to slow us down, letting the Dennets arrive here first. We still have nicks and scraps in our armor, like an arrow hole, I believe, to show that we will actually attack by arrows, whatever that may help. We will also say that when it comes to the poisoning, we have never been near any of the Dennets. The symptoms showed way before we even met him. They always stayed ahead of us on the road. We have basically no way of reaching them.
Can I ask if you have any evidence to support that?
That they stayed ahead of us on the road. Yeah, Maester Ferris will then be called in to say that he can testify that we never, Anomander, none of House Trevelyan has talked to any of the Dennets.
You say that he has not seen them on the road, certainly.
Yeah.
Also, wasn't there
anyone?
guards?
But he met lots of people on the road and in the taverns.
Oh, sure.
They could have sent someone ahead, my liege.
Could have, but I mean that's just bizarre. More. Why would we do that instead of catching up? Because they were the aggressors here, Remember, they were the ones accusing us. Like, poisoning them would do nothing for us. Like, this has been, again, a setup from the start, like trying to put our houses against
I will say
each
that
other.
that clearly you did this, and you simply did not travel ahead because you wanted to present this very evidence. It proves nothing.
Well, when it comes to the poisoning, again, both of them have both Lord Dennett and his the betrothed to the sister of Lugus died of the same poison. It seems to be quite clear then who actually has most to benefit from this. It is definitely not House Trevelyan. More likely, it is a power play of House Lugus to try to grab land and to try to set up someone else to take the fall for it. It is well known that the brother, the older brute brother, is thoroughly disliked and is a brute and a bully. He's undiplomatic and likes to take what he wants. It is quite conceivable that he is certainly not above something like this, most likely. Especially with someone as the Black Widow in the same family, someone known for taking care of a lot of husbands.
He will tell you to shut your damn mouth about his sister.
Anomander doesn't care. And say that yes, two poisonings with the same poison has been directly linked to vested interests of House Lugus in this matter. And he will basically say that yes, it opened up for Iris Dennett to inherit and someone from Lugus to marry her. He will then say that getting rid of the I'm stressed out because I'm late. What was his name? Flowers?
Mm-hmm.
No.
A merchant? Or you're talking about the woods?
Yes, I'm talking about the woods. That basically getting him out of the way would set her up for another more profitable marriage, and Anomander will suspect that there are many potential prospects for this. Maybe they will even try to, with such accusations like this, try to strike down the male heir of House Trevelyan, Lord Aiden, and force House Trevelyan to marry off its only daughters to them as well, thus bringing all the power under House Lugus and turning Trevelyan into a minor house, subservient to them as well as Dennett. It's all points to House Lugus. This is all a ploy by them to try to gain more power.
By them, the king will say.
Yeah, the house. Exactly who would be responsible in the house. I mean, yeah, Anomander couldn't say for sure, but the heir of the house might certainly be one of them.
Well, now you bring accusations up of framing and, well, pretty harsh things.
Yeah, he will lay out the most likely scenario here. That's basically what he does, and say that there's nothing for Trevelyan to gain here. More than ever, it is House Lugus who has anything to gain. Like, why would Trevelyan attack and slaughter peasants? Why would Trevelyan poison someone in a joust? We are skilled enough to handle ourselves. We don't need that.
We would like Sir Joris to testimony against for us that.
I say that as long as he was with you, you did nothing dishonorable.
Yeah.
Well, he will also tell us that the Fox Knight did help us explain that the Fox Knight was a murderer and he killed.
And the armor. We will bring up the armor and the handkerchief. Clearly, someone played fooled Harkus, who was a sword of House Trevelyan certainly, but he was of low birth, had no real education or scholarship to speak of. So fooling him into wearing such a ghastly outfit was easy, especially since his old one was broken during the melee, and basically fooling him to try to incur His Majesty's ire, perhaps hoping that in the melee His Majesty would his fury would be so great that he both slew Harkus and maybe Lord Aiden, thus again bringing House Trevelyan into a situation where they had no male heirs.
It seems to be a hard to sell case, as the king doesn't really seem to appreciate the number of layers there is in your story.
Yeah, I can imagine. Maybe the queen.
As Alden speaks, though, and says that he's assured that his betrothed is wrong, and that he will assuredly bring her home with him. Although he has no lands, he certainly will not allow her to be brought to such a place as a brothel again, and that she will not have to marry anyone she doesn't wish. Naturally, we will. Sort of say that he, although he doesn't know much of it, he will bring up the idea of the Bravosi, which angers Sir Nathan, who says that he should keep his damn mouth shut for his sister's sake as well.
Yeah, and what of the Bravosi? Like, what incredible... When you're talking about a rare poison that Maester Ferris and the Conclave of Maesters had trouble... They haven't even identified
as the Tears of Lys.
The Tears of Lys, all right. An incredibly rare and expensive poison.
Virulent poison.
Yeah, that is not found, and he will ask the Maester...
that he did, however, and now he looks at you and says that he did, however, notice one day that this Bravosi brought something to the Trevelyan, sort of put it something into near the Trevelyan rooms.
What?
Anomander will shrug and say that nothing, that he has gotten nothing from any Bravosi, and it is again simply baseless conjecture.
He will suggest that perhaps this Bravosi then tried to frame the house or something.
Yeah, that seems likely.
The king seemed quite annoyed. The queen, however, seems kind of delighted. And after a little while, the king says that he would need a break and a drink
No.
to consider things.
Of course.
And you are left alone here. Alton excuses himself with his betrothed, taking her to the side, basically, seemingly trying to implore upon her the truth he said. Nathan sort of tries to go out, but is blocked by some gold cloak. He says he's currently under house arrest until this matter is dealt with. He says that he will want to speak to his sister, who is then promptly brought into another room where he can talk to her.
And
you stand here alone with the king, the queen.
Uh-oh.
Who looks at you smiling.
Anomander will bow deeply.
Yeah, let's bow deeply to the queen.
Bows or
Now that we are alone, why don't you come slightly closer?
As you wish.
So I can
He takes a glass of wine, swirling it around the bottom of a glass.
Anomander will walk closer.
Yeah, let's walk closer.
Quite the predicament you're in, it seems. I don't think my dear husband would see nicely to this story, especially not with the stunt you pulled yesterday.
Yes, Sir Harkus was always
He was not
exceptionally... He was a hedge knight.
He wasn't technically a knight. Like an anointed
A
knight.
champion.
He was just a champion. That he had no sir to his...
Well, Mr. Harkus.
Enlisted on the grounds that Trevelyan basically took responsibility for.
Yeah. Well, he will then say that Harkus was always an exceptional swordsman, and we valued him as a champion, but he was always a bit of a fool, I guess, and didn't really realize...
Exceptional swordsmen seem to be. So, says, you are my father's bannerman, are you not?
Yes, your grace, it is true.
Just so with the others, however.
He nods again. Certainly true. But the question is, of course, your grace, if I may be so bold, that how much did any of those other houses aid in the victory of the war? He smiles a little bit.
I do believe I remember your house going against your liege lord and aiding Robert before the time was ripe. That is correct, no?
He nods. Yes, one would call it so. Yes, it is true. It was a risky move back in the day. We judged it to to pay off. If we succeeded, then more glory would be brought to all of us, and if we failed, at least the great House Lannister could disavow us and just oust us. All in all, we took a chance.
I also heard that your old sire was discreetly disposed of when he disagreed with you.
Yeah, he bows, says, "Your Majesty is very well informed."
He smiles, leaning slightly back, seemingly enjoying this. So it seems then that you are not in a very good situation. Sure, a warm, maybe too warm smile.
Mm-hmm. It is a...
However, I've also heard other things.
Oh no, Manaki looked at me.
Your Grace?
Things of what you did, sort of in the past. Back slightly. And I do see that perhaps there is some value in what you can do for the people whom you care to do it for.
Anomander bows slightly again. Such has been my intent all the while, Your Grace.
Just very well then. Say that I could get you off. That I could help you to not be condemned, as I'm sure my dear husband would want to see you.
What would we owe in return for such gracious help, Your Grace?
That would be for me to decide and for you to find out.
He nods. Yes, most likely so. You know, out of character, I don't think we have much of a choice if we could get Cersei on our side.
So,
If we get Cersei on our side, we're pretty much
Because
got.
the alternative is
Basically, she's like, yeah, you're Lannister bannerman. I'm gonna back you up.
well, also there's the other half of it, which is basically she has an invisible knife to our throat, because if we say no, she can just say off them.
Yeah, and again, you know, all things considered, I think it's a fairly good deal because she, like, we are Lannister bannermen. Her having, like, we owing her a favor is like she could at any point anyway just order us around. She is basically our liege lord.
Yeah, she drinks her wine, not breaking eye contact.
I say agree.
I say agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
The eyes have it.
I tend to have no say in this.
Very well then, I will try to clear your suspicion, but stay out of trouble for the near future.
Nods.
With a smile as her husband comes back in.
He would he would say that he might interject something along the lines of that Sir Harkus in his, you know, he is incredibly skilled, and it would be a shame if such a great swordsman were to rot up on the wall. He doesn't suppose that she could try to do anything to get him off as well. Maybe have him stay with the house. I mean, we can whip him for a few days.
He'll take the punishment. He'll take it like a champ.
Say nothing.
Okay.
Well, as the king returns, she'll begin to whisper to him and talk. He seems to have been drinking quite a bit, and seems tired and annoyed. As the others come in as well, Nathan and his sister looking angry. The king then looks to you and Orton. We'll make sure to stand with you. And actually, Lady Danet, he has in his hand, who seems to sort of be standing with him now, but very unsure of herself at the moment. As the king looks to you and says, "Well then, it seems rather apt." He looks to Nadia.
What?
What would you... Sort of nods towards Nathan and his sister, who now stand there. The sister slightly beginning to open her mouth, sort of in shock, looking at Nathan, looking around, kind of confused. Have we do with them? Assuming what you say is true.
Shoot.
What punishment do we recommend?
They will share. Sort of looks and says, they will share the punishment of your own.
So, can I get
He
a...
sort of catches Menenda's eyes
Mm-hmm.
as he looks at you. Annoyed, but
So what
what you could ask.
he wants me to say what punishment I think they deserve, but we also deserve.
Yeah.
That Harkus
break their legs, because that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah. Knock them out, break their legs, and send them to the wall.
Females are not allowed on the wall.
No,
No.
it's only Harkus
So he wants me to decide what to do with Harkus
and them.
and them.
Oh.
Nadia will look at the Kinston.
Seems that the Queen did indeed whisper a word or two about Harkus as well.
Your Grace, Harkus has been my protector since I was very
That's
little.
not my question.
All you can do is answer the.
You just gotta answer.
I don't know.
Harkus will gladly put his life down for you.
Maybe a king's
Them
mercy.
and Harkus. You can give them... Basically let them go with a warning.
No.
I like the suggestion. We got
Okay, wait.
recommend that the king takes their lands, because Harkus doesn't own any land, but
Yeah,
they
take
do.
their lands. Strip them of lands and
Sure.
title.
Yeah,
I would-
strip them of lands.
I suppose
title
that
as well.
their lands and titles should go to you, my Grace. Since they both jeopardized and used their position. And I believe giving what they have to you is quite the punishment.
Do I become a guardsman now instead of a sworn sword?
You know,
And
but the thing is, you have no title on land, so you can't really do
Exactly.
much.
You may take all your belongings.
And what with them?
Well, that's what we suggested for them.
Yeah, yeah.
that's what I suggested for them.
You just let them go?
No,
No.
take their lands and name.
Yeah, lands and titles.
Take their lands and titles. But I'm sort of confused. Are we saying that are we sentencing all three in the same sense? Okay. So, but if we say take lands and titles,
What should happen to them personally?
that happens to them personally. Yes.
Yeah, but like physically or
But
do you
You
want them
can't
to just
send-
go free?
no. What we want is basically to say
I think he should send.
You want their titles to be revoked?
Yes.
we want their
Beyond
titles to be
that.
revoked.
Just
I
be
think-
vagabonds or?
I think he should send the guy to the wall.
That means the lady goes in the Silent Sisters.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And that would
But,
be
but we
Harkus.
don't want, but we don't want Harkus on the wall.
No, but what do you want me to do? They don't deserve. And Halldamir just said he would lay his
yeah.
life
What does
down.
Nadia say?
Yeah.
Nadia
What would
says
say?
that she would think that the siblings should go to the wall in the Silent Sisters, but since Harkus had been fooled into all this, that he should have been let go, he is crippled for life after all.
The king looks to the two, takes a swag of his alcohol, and nods slowly and says, "The wall it is. This matter is done with."
What about Harkus, your Grace?
As he stands and just sort of looks back and then leaves.
That's fine.
Oh,
This can
okay.
be interpreted in many ways.
That is determined that Harkus has been fooled and he can come with me home.
That's what we decide to determine this as.
That's
yes.
what
And
we
then
are
we smuggle him
determining
out and we never
this.
speak of him again.
You
We're gonna burn his face with acid so no one recognizes
No,
him.
we're not gonna burn his
we
face.
return to Harkus and find out the king's been there and like removed an eyeball.
The queen
Yeah.
stands up and says, "Guards, take them." As two members of the king's guard with their white cloaks walks to take the two Nortons who protest heavily. The brother looking at Orton and cursing his name as they're being taken out. Maltren looking shocked as he sort of shields the Dennett lady.
He was the guy who said he could make me bleed before time.
Yeah. He was an asshole.
As we walk out,
Okay,
Anomander will approach these two. He will lean on his cane, look at them, and say, "I think this is the verdict you wanted, wasn't it, daughters?"
I was put on the
They
spot.
look pale.
Nadia looks to them because it is still his family. I was put on the spot.
She said, my sister I'm not so sure about, but my brother was a pig.
I am not really competent to put justice on people, and for that, I hope you can forgive me.
So I hope you can forgive me for my suspicions of you. It might still take some time for me to completely think of what has just happened. But I suppose I owe you your house, my life, to some degree.
Yes.
He would have killed me. Might still if he can get away with it. Perhaps then, in the future, we can... Positive relations should be had.
I agree. As heir of my house, I agree that would be very preferable at our house.
I shall have to tell my father what has occurred.
My
brother is done. Seems I underestimated him all this time. Perhaps he just put up a face.
We need to get moving, my lord. We have things to take care of. Harkus for one.
Let's take Harkus with us home.
If you want him to... The king is unlikely to remember, it seems.
Yes, I know.
It's a dangerous suggestion, but...
I know.
Just quiet up and just nod slowly. Iris still looks at you, all very hurt. It's a shoulder. She clearly still is not sure what to believe.
I am so sorry, my lady, but I did not kill your brother.
You're all led, basically back to your abode by some guards then, with the gold cloaks. And you are. It is that night that you are a lady comes to you. A bit of a message that says that you should probably depart soon. The king would very much, or the queen suggests that the king might not want to bother with this matter any longer.
Yeah, we'll get Harkus and we will get the hell out of King's Landing.
You'll say that. During the night, the Arwin like checked on the horse, like, are they ready to go? You need to leave.
I really need to go now. But
yes, you do.
Anomander will turn to the rest of the group, when the others are out of sight, and he will basically say that Orson is a bloody snake. He did all of this, I am sure of it. Taps his cane on the ground. He used House Trevelyan to take out his dirty garbage. I know you only mean well, looking at Nadia, but do not grovel in front of them, please. Those people are...
No, but I still know when not to start getting enemies.
He nods. We will allow him to believe that he bested us for now, but we are wise to his schemes, using us to get in power.
So are we gonna leave your child here, or are we gonna bring him?
He shrugs. I'll take him with me. I might need someone with a quick pair of feet to run some errands.
You want to bring Sir Joris?
Sure, we'll bring Sir Joris.
Or the Scorpion Blade?
Sure. I mean, does he want to come along?
We'll take it higher.
Sure, I'll bring the Scorpion Blade.
Sir Joris, he's not the Scorpion Blade, though.
No, the Scorpion Blade is a guy...
He's a maimed old knight.
What about Sir Joris?
Yeah.
Is he gonna come?
Yeah, that's yours.
No, he's not the Scorpion Blade.
No, we're not on about the Scorpion Blade.
Oh.
Oh.
And so, So you take the very next morning, probably very early, leaving.
Maybe Harkus gets woken up in the middle of the night, saying that here's your cloak and armor. Get out.
You leave.
Get the fuck out.
As you leave, city of King's Landing, riding away.
Do I need to hold up the banner again?
No.
Yes.
I don't think we care about the banner anymore.
We came out on top, but it was harrowing.
Yeah. Oh, hell just broke loose.
Yeah, we have a powerful and very duplicit neighbor that has just gained the control over House Dennett.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I will ask now before Jonas leaves completely and say, did you like this adventure and would you like to do the follow-up?
Is there a follow-up?
There's a follow-up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like.
I liked the adventure too. It felt like we missed a lot of things. I don't know.
Possibly?
There are a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's sometimes difficult to come up with what you should look for when it's so
An overwhelming web of lies.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. It's very mysterious. We don't really know. It's hard to remember a lot of the new characters.
If I should just have brought that woman with me.
And yeah, I think we succeeded. It was an interesting adventure. I would like to do the follow-up, sure.
Yeah, sure.
It felt like...
Of course, it is a little hard. Generally, you will have more initiative, I suppose, to do your own sorts of things. But of course, this is a pre-made adventure, so it's hard for them to anticipate what you would want to do. Which is why there's a lot of things sort of scheduled up for you to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would say at some point I felt, especially with the Harkus armor thing, that was a little bit rushed. That was a little bit rushed. I would have liked that to slow the heck down, because that was a trap I feel like we could have avoided.
I was trying to fit things in to finish this thing now.
Yeah, I know, but that was the thing. I felt like this could have been avoided.
It could have been avoided, yeah.
If we just had a little more time to sort of talk.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that was probably my biggest gripe, was that thing with this.
It is safe to say, though, that a person would have been there to talk Harkus into trying to basically surprise you all with this great surprise of this donation.
Yeah.
And I don't think Harkus would have been able to.
No, but the
resist
rest
the
of the
temptation.
Party.
Yeah.
But the rest of the party, I mean, could have been like,
would not likely have met him if that had succeeded.
Yeah, that's a problem.
But even so, like Harkus coming back and like with the armor, like, oh, this great armor, and like we look at it and be like,
It would have been nice too.
The ending here is also a little rushed, but
yes,
Yeah.
there's no point in meeting for like 2 hours to finish a thing. That's not enough. Yeah. I believe the next one is called Wedding Night.
oh, great.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I ran across the PDF and I was like, oh god.
Because it doesn't feel like all hell's going loose. Now we don't. Now we're getting a little feel for the Red Wedding now.
Oh god. No.
Red Wedding.
But you know, that's just a little bit.
So
I
we're
suppose,
invited
Jonas, you have to go now, and I
Yeah.
won't hold you longer.
I would say that fucking house Lucas played us like a freaking banjo, and I hate them. And we're gonna crush them.
You know, it's not easy to play a banjo, but okay.
We're gonna crush them.
I suppose we'll have a lot of after session talk.
Yes.
I guess the stream can't really.
What I did say I would do for stream is I would switch a recording on for them.
Yeah,
all right.
Also,
I'll stream on
Halldamir is recording, so we can also look at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, but I'll also have a
I
stream.
guess we'll
which is
just
waiting stream for them.
a minute for people to switch to, I guess, like slash.
Can you post it?
Destiny Soul?
Yeah, I'll post it.
If people are interested in watching, of course.
Okay, apparently it opens a hitbox thing inside.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
Alright,
Good job.
I have to run, people.
Yeah, so do I.
I will talk to you.
You're leaving too, Halldamir?
Yeah, I've got to go.
All right.
Disappointing.
So I will stop recording as well.
All right.
Thanks for watching, guys. And it's a bit rushed, but we'll see you in the next one.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.